Hey, good morning, everyone. This is just a quick introduction. So if you missed the live session, even though I'm using period one mathematical investigations, the basic principles here apply to all classes. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that you're in your proper class period. So for me, you're either in my period one investigations class, period two algebra one, or period three investigations class. So if you click, every class has a unique Google Meet. So right at the top, when you enter a class, you're going to see our Google Meet link. So when I'm offering live classes this week, you can assume that's the link I'm using. From there, you do have the live stream, which some people like to rely on. I would prefer that you guys go to classwork just because I post by week and by day. And so if you go to classwork, it's very clear anything you've missed. And so if you go into an assignment, you can see the quick snapshot. The danger of this one is if you scroll, you're going to see that there's actually more. So sometimes you're like, oh, there's only 3 steps, but that's not really the case. Make sure you're scrolling all the way to the bottom. Or you can click View Assignment, which I think is better. You'll see instructions, and this is my teacher screen, but on your screen, you'll see an option to mark as done once you finish things. Cool. So from there, basically, we're going to use a platform called Desmos. So you're going to see a link, and that's going to take you to this Intro to Desmos activity. So you'll always see an intro slide, and then it's going to tell you what slide you're on. So if you go next, you're going to see, let me edit my responses here. You're going to see a blank here. If I were to simplify this, my argument would be following order of operations. That if I'm solving and I click the math type tool, that's my equation editor. So in this case, I know order of operations says I should do 4 times 2 first. And so really this is going to simplify to 3 plus 8 minus 6. And 3 plus 8 is 11 minus 6 equals 5. So in this case, I know that this is going to simplify to 5. So I'll click submit, and now not only can I see your answer, I can see your work. Not everybody likes to work digitally, and so if you prefer to do math on paper, totally an option. You can totally ignore this show your work spot, and you can go to the next slide, and there's an option to click plus, add an image, and it'll give you a chance to select from your computer an image you'd like to upload. So if you just snap a picture of your work and upload it, that works just as well. So moving on, the next thing this is really useful for is, let's say, I'll go right back from scratch here. We're going to do a lot of graphing. And so this tool is really great in the sense you can add an item. In this case, let's say I add a table. And I will say, let's use the point 0, 4, and 2, 3. So what you're going to notice is your points show up on this graph. And you can always zoom out, you can zoom in, you can click and drag depending on where you want to view the points. All of that's available to you. And then from here, maybe you remember this, maybe you don't. I can always add an expression, and I can say, what's the equation of the line that goes through these? And I see it's got a slope of -1 over 2. To divide, I can hit the slash button, x, and then +4. And sure enough, I have a line, and I can confirm that it goes through those points. If you don't like using the keyboard for things, there's always going to be an option to show a keypad, and that's also going to give you all the mathematical operations you might need. So we'll talk more in detail because we're going to be using this tool a lot. With that said, we can move on. Sometimes I might give you things that say, like, here's a line, click and drag to meet the requirements. So here it's saying go through the points 1, 1 and 4, 5. So sure enough, I can go, here's 1, 1, here's 4, 5, and now I've created that line. And then finally, this is just a question. Some of you might be familiar with Desmos, some of you might not be. If you aren't, totally fine. I'll make sure that you get up to speed quickly. If you are comfortable, I think you'll really be able to take advantage of methods for explaining your work beyond just words. All right, and then finally, every assignment I give you is going to have a final checking your work slide. And so you'll be able to see slide, problem, did you submit, and is it correct? And that way you're getting immediate feedback on every assignment, and so you don't need to reach out to me to know if you're right or not. From my screen, I can go in and I can see individual people's work. And so let's say I go in here, and what you're going to see is that I can see exactly what you've done. You're also going to see a lesson feedback thing. And so I can say, I might say, check problem one's work. And on your screen, you're going to see this thing pop up green, and you're going to see that I gave you feedback. And if you go to a different slide, but my feedback is earlier, it's going to tell you what screen to go to see my feedback, and it'll take you there. So I'm going to use that feedback tool a lot, and I try to be pretty timely in giving you feedback on assignments. So those are all the basics. If you have any questions, as noted in Google Classroom, never hesitate to email me, or if you're more comfortable, you can always leave comments in assignments themselves, and that'll pop up in my email so I know to get back to you. All right, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in class soon.